slick.
Wait till that mother start hitting that body.
Yeah.
Alvarez hit that mother body.
Look how slick. Mike, look how slick he is.
Oh, he's going to get...
In August of 2024 against Israel Majima to make him a 4-division champion. That's it. That's all. He hasn't fought since then.
Look, with Crawford, I think gaining too much weight and too much muscle might affect them. If they're thinking of surviving and being able to take a punch and being able to go around.
Mike Tyson delivered a blunt warning to Terence Crawford after appearing alongside Canelo Alvarez at the press conference. Tyson made it clear that in his opinion, Crawford is far too small to truly compete with Canelo on equal terms. He insisted there is no realistic pathway for Crawford to beat the Mexican superstar and added that, from a fan's perspective, this is not the kind of fight that carries broad excitement. His remarks injected a sharper edge into the pre-fight conversation, igniting debate over whether this matchup should even be pursued in the first place.
That Terence Crawford is simply too small and doesn't have a chance to beat Canelo Alvarez. I am Mike Tyson. He says that this is a fight that nobody calls for. It's just simply too much of a size difference. Shannon Briggs is the believer in styles make fights, skill set, and the skill set of Canelo Alvarez versus the skill set of Terence Crawford favors the skill set of Terence Crawford, not only just to win, but to possibly stop Canelo Alvarez for the first time in his career. Now, Canelo Alvarez is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Terence Crawford is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Terence Crawford is 4-division champion, undefeated, 2-division undisputed champion. Canelo Alvarez is a 4-division champion, 2-time undisputed super middleweight champion, and reigning undisputed super middleweight world champion, with a record of 63 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 39 wins by way of knockout.
Veteran contender Gabriel Rosado weighed in with his perspective on a potential Crawford-Canelo showdown. While acknowledging Crawford's impressive technical skills, movement, and accuracy, Rosado believes he simply does not possess the kind of raw punching power needed to trouble Canelo. He emphasized that Canelo has stood toe-to-toe with some of the hardest punchers in the sport and absorbed their best shots without breaking down. Against such a physically strong and durable opponent, Rosado sees Crawford's lack of knockout-level power as a serious obstacle. In his view, the disparity in physical strength and endurance could prove to be one of the most difficult challenges Crawford would face in the ring.
I don't see how Crawford could hurt Canelo, because Canelo's been in there with Kovalev, he's been in there with Bivol, you know what I'm saying? He's been in there with big punchers, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, how can a guy that's really a 47-pounder, even though he's up in weight, I don't see how he can hurt Canelo. You know what I'm saying? It just feels complete. Because your body is different to absorbing a bigger blow. So, you know what I'm saying? But it's like when I sparred the guys in the lower weight classes and they hit me, bro, it's like no disrespect, but it just feels like you get hit with a pillow. It's just different. It could be a murderous puncher at 147. But if I'm walking around 185 and I'm a solid guy and I'm used to fighting guys, you know, with a different kind of power, and I spar a guy that's a welterweight, it feels like...
Boxing commentator Showbiz the Adult gave a straightforward verdict: Terence Crawford will not beat Canelo Alvarez. He cited a combination of size, strength, and stylistic mismatches as the decisive factors. According to Showbiz, Canelo's vast experience against elite competition across multiple weight classes has forged a skill set perfectly suited to neutralizing fighters like Crawford. While he acknowledged Crawford's versatility and high boxing IQ, he argued that these attributes alone would not be enough to offset Canelo's punching power, pressure, and ring control. For him, the fight heavily favors Canelo unless Crawford can deliver something extraordinary on fight night.
Spaceman Films. What up, Biz? Who you got? Canelo Crawford.
Yeah.
Got Canelo. I heard the punches that he hit Charlo with. I don't know if Crawford can absorb those punches. I know he's a great puncher, a great warrior. when you come from 147 to put on a better fight than Charlo. I mean, I don't even know what that means. I don't know if that means that Crawford is so great and he can do that, or that means that Charlo set the bar so damn low that anybody can do better than Charlo did last night.
Do skill really pay the bill? That would be tough.
That's why Canelo feels good.
Renowned trainer Robert Garcia voiced concerns about Crawford's plan to add significant weight in preparation for Canelo. Garcia explained that sudden or substantial weight gain can negatively impact a fighter's speed, stamina, and sharpness in the ring. He warned that the extra size could actually slow Crawford down, robbing him of one of his most effective weapons, his quickness. Garcia also dismissed comparisons between Crawford and Floyd Mayweather in this context, pointing out that Mayweather never bulked up in the same way to fight larger men, relying instead on pure speed and technical mastery. In Garcia's eyes, stepping up to an unfamiliar weight could place Crawford at a disadvantage before the opening bell.
Look, with Crawford, I think gaining too much weight and too much muscle might affect them. If they're thinking of surviving and being able to take a punch and being able to go rounds, then they're trying to maybe go the distance and they'll be happy with that. But I think Crawford's natural talent, Mayweather had it, you guys were just mentioning it right now, that Mayweather never needed to gain weight and never needed to be heavy to be able to beat those bigger guys. I think Crawford's skills, we give Crawford a chance because we know how good he is, his skills, his speed, his combinations. But if he's gaining so much weight, he might not be able to do those. He might not be able to have those same skills when it comes to his speed, his footwork, because of the weight. So we'll see. I just hope he's not just training and getting big to survive and go the distance, because maybe that's a win for him. Maybe he's thinking, if I go the distance with him, that's a big win for me. So I just hope not. I expect Crawford to actually pull up some runs and maybe even pull up the fight. But if he's too heavy, too big, he's gonna get hit, and he's gonna have to exchange punches, and that's where the danger comes in.
Gary Antoine Russell spoke highly of Canelo Alvarez's complete mastery of his own fighting style. He praised Canelo for knowing his strengths intimately and maximizing them in every bout. Russell believes that what Canelo has perfected over years of top-level competition, from defensive head movement to pinpoint counterpunching and punishing bodywork, cannot simply be neutralized by Crawford. While acknowledging Crawford's adaptability and intelligence in the ring, Russell stressed that Canelo's ability to dictate the terms of a fight makes him a uniquely difficult challenge. At the elite level, such efficiency and confidence are extremely hard to disrupt.
Canelo, he has mastered his style. Typically, Latinos, they got their own style versus melanated black people. Having more rhythm, more flashiness and panache to their stuff, more swag.
Yeah.
We just fight different than other ethnicities. If you want to throw Amir Khan in there, his ethnicity, he was in and out.
Yeah, that's the European kind of style.
Textbook, but that was his style. Canelo got his style and he mastered it. Terence Crawford cannot take nothing away from him. He's freakishly good, he go both sides, southpaw, orthodox, and I feel like he adapt well. But it don't take much to get hit, especially these little 8-ounce gloves. He cannot slip up. He cannot slip up. He gonna have to stay set from bing to bing from round 1 to 12, and he better be in shape. Yeah. I'm talking about not 12 round shape. I'm talking about 16 round shape.
Former world champion Chris Aljier offered insight into the struggles fighters encounter when moving up in weight. He explained that gaining size affects everything: timing, mobility, and endurance, and that looking bigger on fight night does not always translate to increased strength or knockout power. Aljier pointed out that fighting at a new, heavier weight can be tricky, especially against an opponent who has spent years comfortable in that division. While he praised Crawford's world-class skill set, he warned that the physical adjustments could take their toll, particularly in the later rounds when fatigue and stamina become decisive.
So that's another aspect of that comparison. And yes, exactly what the champ said, exactly what Abel Sanchez said, you're going to put on weight, you're going to be a different fighter. And I can say this even as a fighter as myself, as I've gotten heavier in my retirement, I try and move around the gym, it just feels different. And even when you start camp, you feel different in the beginning than you do at the end. But listen, we're still 4 or 5 weeks away. I don't know exactly what Terence is weighing right now. And even if he does say what he weighs, man, he's gone out there and said he's weighed, you know, all types of crazy numbers just to get people to get media to respond. So it's really not really going to know until the fight. We see these guys next to each other. He might look bigger right now, but he might not be that heavy. He might still be in the range that these guys are targeting for the fight itself. But I will say this: if you look at it historically, Floyd Mayweather, when he fought Canelo Alvarez, Floyd was 36 years old. Canelo was a young man. I think he was 21 or something like that, or 23, under 23, whatever the case may be. Floyd came in how Floyd always comes in. He didn't try to put on weight for that fight. I think he came in 150 pounds, like he always did in his big fights, and even at 36 years old. And it was his speed, it was his technical proficiency, it was his skill, and his jab, which is what gave Canelo fits all night long and eventually why he lost 11 rounds to 1. So I don't know that Crawford really needs to be packing on this muscle. And I have actually argued in my own head. I'm like, yeah, but he's older. He's not Floyd. Floyd was 36 when they...
A boxing analyst expressed a firm belief that Canelo Alvarez will not lose to Terence Crawford. The reasoning was simple: without the power to hurt Canelo and earn his respect, Crawford faces a steep uphill battle. The analyst also suggested that the physical differences between them would make it unlikely for Crawford to absorb Canelo's heavy shots over 12 rounds. Canelo's durability, strength, and control of distance could leave Crawford struggling to establish consistent offense. While respecting Crawford's accomplishments, the analyst concluded that Canelo's physical advantages would ultimately decide the outcome.
He was on the undefeated field. He said that he sparred Canelo Alvarez, and he hit Canelo Alvarez with his best shot. His best shot. This is a power puncher. Yeah, he's smaller than Canelo Alvarez, but let me further explain. Canelo Alvarez didn't feel nothing. Nothing. And some of y'all gonna be like, well, yo, that's Virgil Ortiz, he's smaller. Canelo Alvarez didn't feel nothing with Triple G. Canelo Alvarez didn't feel nothing versus Kovalev. Kovalev killed the man in the ring. Canelo Alvarez didn't feel nothing with Danny Jacobs. Canelo Alvarez wasn't even demobilized by Dimitri before. He just got outboxed. He didn't hurt Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez, you see how he say Iron Mike Tyson? Well, Canelo Alvarez has an iron chin. Terence Crawford, and also, put it this way also, after the fight with Jamel Charlo and Canelo Alvarez, and I spoke to Jamel Charlo. Jamel Charlo basically said that, yo, Canelo Alvarez couldn't feel my punches. I hit Canelo Alvarez with 2 left hook and he didn't even feel nothing. Jamel Charlo was Iron Man Jamel Charlo, the 154-pound undisputed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's not active right now, but we all know he was an undisputed, a knockout artist that got all his belt by knocking out every opponent to become undisputed, ladies and gentlemen. Canelo Alvarez has gotten hit with the most devastating punches in his generation, 175 and 160. Fought the likes of Kirkland that was known for power.
Willie D, former boxer and commentator, provided a detailed analysis of the fight. He highlighted that Canelo is not only naturally bigger but also younger than Crawford, a factor that can make a significant difference in boxing. Willie D emphasized that advantages in age and size affect reaction time, recovery ability, and how well a fighter can absorb punishment. He also noted Canelo's height advantage, which could help him manage the range and set the pace. In his assessment, Crawford would be entering the ring with multiple disadvantages before skills even come into play.
Bud is 37. So you give that edge to Canelo, because in boxing, youth is a commodity. Height. Canelo is 5 feet 7.5 inches tall. Terence Crawford is 5 feet 8 inches tall. So you give the slight edge to Terence Crawford right there. The reach. Canelo is 70.5 inches tall. Terence Crawford is 74 inches tall, which gives him an almost 4-inch reach advantage. Their weight, Canelo is a middleweight and Bud is a lightweight middleweight. Records. Canelo is 63-2-2, 39 knockouts. Bud is 41-0 with 31 knockouts. Canelo's last fight was a victory over William Skull. It was a unanimous decision on May 3rd, 2025. Bud last entered the ring on August 3rd, 2024, where he defeated Israel Madrid.
John Ryder, who has faced Canelo himself, gave a candid breakdown of what Crawford might be up against. He described Canelo's style as calculated yet relentless, wearing opponents down mentally and physically over the course of a fight. Ryder explained that Canelo's true danger lies not only in his punching power but in his ability to maintain a constant, punishing pace while controlling the rhythm of the bout. Even highly skilled fighters can struggle when every round feels like a battle of endurance and resilience. From Ryder's perspective, Crawford's sharp technique and fighting spirit may not be enough to withstand that sustained pressure.
You just got to watch the Bivol blueprint, the in and out. I mean, a lot of fighters getting stick now for being runners, Tom and Jerry and whatnot. But stick to what you're good at. Terence Crawford is an exceptional talent. He's won titles through the weights, undisputed at, 3 weights now. And listen, if anyone can do it, it's him. I think the weight will be too much of an issue. Canelo is a special talent. And I think the weight will play a factor in the fight. But listen, Canelo once done it and made the step up to super middleweight. I would like Crawford to be more at light middle and middle to build into it, but you take these opportunities when they come, and that's what greatness is, chasing it.
Yeah, and I've heard that before. Like, some people said if you see him at 154, he fought a Madrimov, and you saw how much he got touched. Obviously, it's two different fighters. But why do you think he should probably? You think he should have probably taken another fight, maybe at 160 or maybe another one at 168?
You need to build into it a bit. I think the fight with Madrimov was his first fight at
154.
At 154, and listen, you're still developing and growing into that weight. You could have done with a couple more there, then moved up to 160, but it's all being done as a bit of a rush. So he's not going to be fully. He's not going to have time to put the muscle on to build into the weight, and he's obviously going to do it with the intention of getting back down to 154 and taking on other challenges. So it's not a long-term goal for him to stay there, but like I say, Terence Crawford is an exceptional talent. I remember watching him beat a good friend of mine, Ricky Burns, and it's like since that day I was just, my ears pricked up and I took notice, and every time Terence Crawford boxed, I watched.
While the majority of opinions lean toward Canelo, Coach Anthony offered a more balanced viewpoint. He acknowledged Canelo's natural size and experience advantage in higher weight divisions but cautioned against dismissing Crawford entirely. Anthony pointed out that Crawford's high ring IQ, adaptability, and ability to switch stances could create problems Canelo has not seen before. He argued that Crawford's timing, creative angles, and killer instinct make him a legitimate threat, and warned that writing him off could be a major mistake.
Okay, but we have to break some things down into perspective here. First and foremost, Terence Crawford is a very strong 147 pounder. He's not a regular guy. He's not a regular 147 pounder. Another thing is, he's an extremely determined fighter. That guy's a winner. He's cut from the same cloth as the Andre Wards, the Floyd Mayweathers. That you only get certain fighters that come across in a decade that have that kind of aura and that kind of determination to win. Now, if we want to break it down fundamentally, don't get me wrong. Canelo is a strong fighter. He's proven himself. He got a great chin. He's fought some of the best fighters that you can ask for. But he's not that much bigger if you ask me. They're about the same size and height. Now, don't get me wrong. He's a little bit wider. He's a little bit, thicker, right? Like, as far as his frame goes. But we got to be honest here, man. He's not that. It's not like we're fighting Benavidez here, okay? We're fighting a guy that he can still get his jab off. He can still use his footwork. He can still use his defense to go ahead and evade some of these punches. You know what I mean? So for me, Terence Crawford is going to be, if Canelo goes in there and underestimates Crawford's strength, that could be a mistake, okay? It only takes a few pounds of pressure to hurt a guy. You don't need to be that big of a guy to hurt a guy. So, at the end of the day, Crawford is a threat as well if Canelo goes in there and overestimates his weight and his size. I've seen bigger guys get knocked out by smaller guys in the gym all the time with headgear on and 16-ounce gloves. So we have to just take a few things into account when it comes to...
What's your pick for this legendary matchup? Drop your predictions in the comments below and let the debate continue.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more exciting videos, make sure to hit the bell icon and stay updated. Subscribe to Boxing Hub now for all the latest in boxing.